Hello, everyone. It's Michael Jacob with Unleashing Intuition Secrets. So, just had a nice weekend with my kids. They're young adults. I still call them my kids. And so they were here visiting me here in Florida, and we went to Universal Studios. So I get to see, there's a lot of businesses, corporations that are still making their employees wear masks, right? So these corporations are still on board with this, these control issues that are going on with this deep state corporate massive entity that's trying to take over the world. I saw maybe less than 5% of people wearing masks at Universal Studios, which really saddens me for several reasons. One is that they don't understand that the mask itself basically restricts the oxygen going to the brain, so there's no critical thinking. And also it restricts oxygen to the rest of the body, which makes it more vulnerable. It does not, because the supposed thingy that comes in and causes problems that was manufactured in Wuhan lab, bioweapon, it basically has, I think it's micro of like 1 million or something crazy like that. And the mask is like 1,000 or something. I remember there was some kind of study that was done about that. So it's like trying to keep a mosquito from flying through, that fence, the fence that has the big holes. So a wire fence, it's not going to happen. And so it's ridiculous. So there's enough information out there. If you just do some research at all, you're going to find out that that mask is completely ineffective, for one. For second is as I learned today when I had Kathy O'Brien on with Mel K on a show, it is now posted over on my Rumble channel. I did it live on YouTube. So my Rumble channel, Michael J. 5326, remember, is a Navy SEAL enlisted classification. So it's interesting because she said that was one of the ways that they did the MK mind control on people. They made them wear those masks. Yeah. So we talked a lot about that MK Ultra mind control and how it's being foisted on the populations of the world right now through media. And how you're really only finding the truth out through people like myself and others that are, bringing out truth, because the truth is not happening in the media, guys. There's very, very few exceptions. So you have to learn how to do critical thinking. And if you have a mask on, then that gets stopped out because there's not enough oxygen going to the brain to do that. The other thing that it is doing, now that we're pretty much here, at least in Florida, unfortunately LA is now reactivating the mask mandate, also Australia and Queensland, but we'll talk about that in a minute. So it is it's very frustrating to me because the people that continue to wear that out of fear, because it's obvious fear. You can see these people, and it's also sad because I see that they're struggling in the hot Florida sun and humid weather with these masks on. They're struggling walking around. They have their kids. It's like child abuse to me. They have their kids with these masks on. If you don't need to have them on, why are you doing it? Shame on you. So another thing that does, it creates a little bit of wedge so that they can start that up again, right? So if there's enough people out there with a little bit of fear, and it can kick in pretty quick. So here in Fort Lauderdale, I go to the grocery store. I noticed very few people when I first got here a month or so ago were wearing masks. Now I'm starting to see them wearing it because this variant is coming out. Now, the unfortunate thing is that thing that goes in your arm, helps that variant increase. That's what it's for, right? So those people that have that are going to be a problem, and they are a problem now. All right, so a lot of people are talking about that. So you got to be aware of that. The variants are going to continue to increase. And this one that's out there right now, I don't think it's a big deal. I don't think it is. And I believe very much so that it is not, but they're going to blow it up again that it is. So now they're already talking about how they need a booster. A booster. Yeah, it's never going to end, guys. It's never going to end. We have to stomp it out. We have to fight back. And the only way that we can win is if we stop letting them do this to us. We have to stop it. We can't wait on somebody to come and save us. We, the people, all over the world, have to do this. Let's share the screen, because I'm going to show you that people are standing up to this. And I've been saying this has to happen before we really see a change, and we're starting to see it. And it's not going to happen unless we, the people, do it. All right. But before we get to that, I have to show you something that is a little concerning and should give everyone a little clarity on why things did not get hammered down on January 20th, because we have corrupt generals like this poor bastard that is probably MK Ultra mind controlled, unfortunately. So he says they're not going to effing succeed. Top generals fear Trump would attempt a coup after election, according to new book. Now, a lot of this, I think, is complete BS. They're trying to create another narrative because they're on the ropes. But just because someone's back on the ropes doesn't mean they're done. All right. They can still, like I've been saying, even though the head of the snake is cut off, it can still bite you and inject venom in you and kill you. And that's the way these guys are right now. Top U.S. military officer, chairman of the Joint Chiefs, General Mark Milley, Silly Milley, and that's the way I'm gonna, Silly Milley. He's basically, after this, he can never walk the streets again, because he will be confronted. If I see the boy, I'm gonna get in his face. All right. Was so shaken that then President Donald Trump and his allies might attempt a coup or take other dangerous or illegal measures after the November election, that Silly Milley, and other top officials supposedly informally planned for different ways to stop Trump, according to excerpts of an upcoming book obtained by CNN. What is CNN? What is that C in a three-letter agency? Yes, that's who controls CNN. The book from Pulitzer Prize-winning Washington Post reporters. That's a joke. All right. So it was kind of a Saturday Night Massacre in reverse. The book, I Alone Can Fix It, scheduled to be released next Tuesday, chronicles Trump's final year as president, with a behind-the-scenes look at how senior administration officials and Trump's inner circle navigated his increasingly unhinged behavior after losing the 2020 election. Well, there's a lot of information coming out that's indicating that he didn't, because Arizona just released a lot of information today. And interestingly, the officials in Arizona, after they had their press conference and showed extremely damaging information about that election process that happened there in Maricopa County, they had to be escorted out because they've all had death threats. So everyone that's trying to expose this, guys, is really going out of their way. All of us, right? The book recounts how, for the first time in modern U.S. history, the nation's top military officer, whose role it is to advise the president, was preparing for a showdown with the commander-in-chief because he feared a coup attempt after Trump lost. Milley, you can never walk the streets again. There will be a lot of patriots that are going to confront you. You are shit. They may try, but they're not going to effing succeed, Silly Millie told his deputies, according to the authors. You can't do this without the military. You can't do this without the CI or the FB. We're the guys with the guns. Really? You're the guys with the guns? See how they keep trying to push this narrative? They keep trying to push this Civil War thing. Like Biden just came out with, they're trying to push election reform. The, little scaredy cats from Texas ran away when it was time for them to vote for election reform, so that this BS could never happen in Texas. So they ran, and they're double dipping right now, because when they're in session, they get per diem, and now they're in Washington getting per diem. I say cut their pay. In the days leading up to January 6th, was worried about Trump's call to action. Milley viewed Trump as the classic authoritarian leader with nothing to lose. Remember how before the election, they kept saying that even if Trump loses, he won't leave. So they're trying to build this narrative because they knew that they were going to lose, right? And they did lose. This is a Reichstag moment, Silly Millie told aides, according to the book, The Gospel of the Führer. So notice how when they make these statements, pointing the finger, they're really the ones that are the Führer. We know that. Ahead of a November pro-Trump Million MAGA march to protest election results, Milley told aides he feared. This military general feared unarmed civilians. It could be the modern American equivalent of brown shirts in the streets. So that's who this Silly Millie believes patriots are, brown shirts. That's who they're trying to make us out to be. Milley will not publicly address the issues because he's probably gone. There's been several people that have said that. Now I've seen some where he's appeared in public. So I'm kind of at odds with how that works, whether this is real time, like who's seen him lately type thing, because there's been many people that have said that he's gone, and some people that are pretty high level that have been giving me information. Milley will not publicly address this issue. So he's not going to sit in silence while people try to use the military against Americans, the official said. So while Silly Millie tried his hardest to actively stay out of politics, really? If the events that occurred brought him into that arena temporarily, so be it, the official said. The official added that the general was not calling Trump a Nazi, but felt he had no choice but to respond, given his concerns that the rhetoric. Now, I'm thinking that this silly Millie guy probably didn't say any of this, guys. Probably didn't say any of this. I think this is all cooked up. The Silly Millie's gone, and they're trying to put words in his mouth, and because they're desperate. That's my thoughts, right? What they're trying to do here is overrun the government, said the friend who is not named, according to the authors, because you're making it up. This is all real, man. You are one of the few guys who are standing between us and some really bad stuff. Milley's reputation took a major hit in June 2020 when he joined Trump during his controversial photo op to St. John's Church after federal forces violently dispersed. So that's been disproven. So these guys are still clinging to that lie, because if you tell a lie often enough, there are people that are wearing masks that can't do critical thinking that will believe it. A peaceful crowd of social justice protesters at Lafayette Square outside the White House. To make matters worse, Milley wore camouflage military fatigues throughout the incident. He later apologized for being a general, a man, because he's not a man at that time or at any point. He has been coerced into being less than a man, less than a general for the people of the United States. He is working for the deep state. Shame on this man. Shame on this man and everyone like him that still clings to this deep state as the ones that are in power. All right, so it goes on, talks about, let's see, Trump actually makes a statement in this. Let's see if I can find it. So of course, GOP rep Liz Cheney, who's a deep stater, her father was a deep stater, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, German Chancellor Angela Merkel, who is the spawn of Hitler and Eva Braun, and former First Lady Big Mike Obama. So it has all those heroes in this book. So we're going to go right out and get that one, right? So Millie asked Cheney how she was doing. So see how, watch this. They're trying to destroy another patriot here that has really been a thorn in their side. That effing guy, Jim Jordan, who has been one of the staunch supporters of doing the right thing and bringing attention to their BS. She said, that son of a biatch, Cheney said, according to the book. See how that is trying to destroy people? Crazy, dangerous maniac. The book reveals Pelosi's private conversations with Milley during this tenuous period when Trump fired Esper in November. I said he would be fired, and he was. That's good. Pelosi was one of several lawmakers who called Milley, "We are all trusting you. We're all the deep state, and you are our man. Remember your oath to the deep state." Okay, so Trump might use nuclear weapons during his final days in office. Ma'am, I guarantee you those processes are very good. They're not going to be an accidental firing of nuclear weapons. How can you guarantee me? Pelosi said. This is all made up. This is all made up, I promise you. Ma'am, there's a process. We will only follow legal orders. We'll only do things that are legal, ethical, and moral. So you see why this man, if he did make these statements, why, if he did do these things, why he had to be taken down to the spa, right? So you're going to see a lot of people like that have done this kind of work. They're exposing these people. They're exposing them. Either he did that, they made this up, which I believe they made a lot of this up. I think that he was someone like that. I know the effing Krauts, the president added, using a derogatory term for German soldiers from World War I and World War II. So who was in charge during World War I? Democrat. Who was in charge during World War II? Democrat. Who started the war? Who started the Civil War? Democrat. So no one has a bigger smile. So they're talking about the inauguration of President Joe Biden. They were so happy that it came in and stopped out the crazy guy. So as you can see from all of this, that there had to be a step back, and they had to wrap up these out of control generals. I've been saying this for a little while, and this is proving it out. So this is good. This is one of those scenarios where we're starting to see a bigger picture of what went down and why they had to step back a little bit and take care of business, guys. All right. So Trump, I don't see it. I have to see if I can find it, but see if I can find it. It was a good statement. He was basically saying that. Okay, so here it is right here. Trump on Thursday issued a lengthy statement attacking silly Millie. I never threatened or spoke about to anyone a coup of our government, Trump wrote in his statement, adding, so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. Sorry to inform you, but on an election is my form of coup. And if I was going to do a coup, one of the last people I would want to do it with is General Mark Silly Millie. Trump continued. Right. Interesting, right? So, U.S. military once trained Colombians implicated in Haiti assassination plot, Pentagon says. Crazy. I wonder who did that. And what special force team or what special unit did that? And who were they working for? Because I tell you guys, when I used to go overseas, when we SEALs used to go overseas and do training, it was super basic. And we would have some of these smarties go, you guys keep teaching us the same thing all the time. We know you guys have more. And we'd be like, that's it. That's all we got. We're giving you everything we got. You think we're stupid that we would give them our best stuff? These guys flip. These guys overseas flip in a heartbeat. They go to the highest bidder all the time, have for millennia. You don't give them their best stuff. You save your best stuff for maybe later, right? So I don't know who trained these guys. Shame on you. All right. And I think it probably was, some group that was working for the CIA. All right, so let's look at this article. Haiti in state of siege amid manhunt after assassination of President Jovenel Moise. All right, so I don't know how these guys get away with this, doing the crazy stuff they do. So I remote view this, guys. So I thought, analytically, I'm looking at this. I'm like, I don't know. Maybe, they whisked him away because I think he's got a lot of stuff on them. Probably why they assassinated him. I think he's got a lot of stuff on them. Child trafficking, their weapons, create, earthquakes, a lot of stuff. And so what makes me, so I remote viewed and I saw they were shot up pretty good. I was like, yeah, they shot the hell out of him. I could see it in my remote view. I said, and I was seeing that they were taking out knives and cutting on him. I was like, what's going on there? So I looked it up. I looked at how many times he was shot and mutilation. And I found this article. How about that? So, when you use your intuition, you can find this stuff pretty quick. So, I would like to think, I would like to hope that maybe this remote view is wrong, that he is still alive, but it's a pretty good remote view. Unfortunately, I think he is dead. The Presidential Guard did not try to stop the assailants, so they were paid off. Former Haitian Prime Minister Laurent Lemout told USA Today in an interview from Miami on Thursday. Now, if I get these words wrong, don't get your panties in a wad, people. All right. Because when I was doing a show yesterday with Janine, I was pronouncing a name, a past life name, incorrectly for some of you. And I would have you remember that some of these names are probably not like that in that particular language during that ancient time. So, Plutarch, not Plutarch, right? That help you guys? Plutarch. Oh my God, just relax through it. Don't get so uptight. If you get uptight about something as simple as that, man, it must be tough in your household. Haitian government officials said the president's killers shot him 12 times and mutilated him. Said the attackers fired 16 bullets in the president's body and his wife was shot 3 times. So they shot him 12 times, or they shot him 16 times, or maybe they shot 16 bullets at him and only 12 hit him. I don't know. So something's wrong there. So what just blew me away is they removed his left eye. That's some demonic shit. That's some satanic shit, guys. So why would they remove the left eye? According to Egyptian myth, Horus lost his left eye in a struggle with Seth. So they removed his left eye. So who is Seth? Seth is Satan, right? Interesting, right? The eye, and we know these guys are Satanists. That central yeah, you didn't see. The eye was magically restored by Hathor. Thank you, Hathor. That's the cow goddess from Venus, and this restoration came to symbolize the process of making whole and healing. So Hathor, they show Hathor here, a goddess of the sky, of women, and of fertility and love. So here's this. So here's a picture of Hathor. I did a ceremony in the birthing chamber, the Hathor birthing chamber in one of the temples. So it's quite beautiful. I love the Hathors. Obviously have a connection with them from past lives and Egyptian time frames. So they still touch me. All right. So these guys are evil. We know they're evil. Yeah, they're doing evil. They're going to continue to do evil until they're taken down. So ex-soldiers, security officials, and businessmen conspired to kill Haitian president, officials say. So a range of people, including 2 former Colombian soldiers. Okay, I think there's more Colombians involved. I saw the larger group of former soldiers, security officials, and businessmen cited by Colombian and Haitian officials Thursday formed an oddball collection of would-be rebels. So we know that there's been a lot of, like I just said, activity by the U.S. down in Colombia for a long time. Drug running. Yes. So the Central Agency does not like competition. They take the competition out, right? They took the competition out we're taking the competition out in Vietnam when they had the drug triangle there, the opium triangle there, heroin, and it was flooding the U.S. And so they went to Colombia when that was over and started going through Mena, Arkansas. I said Arizona last time. So some of you guys just like to blow up when I make just simple mistakes. Arkansas. All right. Arizona, Arkansas, they both had to start with an A, and I was just talking about Arizona before that. So don't get your panties, you guys too, because you guys have panties on, some of you. A larger group of former soldiers, security officials, and businessmen cited by Colombian and Haitian officials Thursday formed an oddball collection of would-be rebels. Why is that? Why would they take an oddball collection? Because there's deniability. So they can move. I've been involved in this in some ways. So they do a lot of different people so they can have deniability, right? So they can pick and choose from here and here. And then when, like the Colombians and the Haitians, American Haitians, and all these other people come in, and who knows, they'll probably find somebody else in the mix, from Afghanistan or something. Oh, Afghanistan, where they were doing the opium trade, they took over from the Taliban, because those guys can't have that. That's why we went in there and did that. That's why we took that country down, so we could get that drug trade. Crazy. So I think that the deep state basically made a deal, and that's why we pulled out. And that's why now you see Taliban and Al-Qaeda basically using American tanks now to take down and take over Afghanistan after we started pulling out. All those men, all the time that I spent there, all those men that died there, and women. And for what? for these puppet masters so they can make a lot of more money. So they're probably still going to make money. They probably made a deal with these guys. It was like, we'll let you guys have your cut, and we'll pull out. But let us warn you, if you don't make sure that we get our cut, we'll send our military back in and spank you. All right. The people the Haitian government identified as suspects couldn't be reached for comment, and it was unclear if they have lawyers. They're not going to get lawyers. If they do, it's going to be, some puppets. All right. So these guys are done. It reminds me of the Bay of Pigs, that other CIA agency thingy. Catherine Clark's friend filled path to speaker. So Rep. Catherine Clark's career long habit of making friends as a Massachusetts Democrat in contention to be the next Speaker of the House. So what's going on with Nancy Pelosi? She's at the spa. Speaker Nancy Pelosi, Democrat from California, has already suggested this is her final term in that job. So they're like gearing it up because she's already gone. But there's also continued speculation she'll accept an ambassadorial nomination to Italy or the Vatican. How about that? Because we know what happened to that Vatican guy. He's gone too. So why wouldn't she just kind of like go over there and go to a place where no one's there and she can disappear there too? That's the way I'm thinking. That would spark an earlier secession vote. So I think, well, I don't think, I know she's gone. So they're probably going to say, oh, Nancy, for your last thing, we're going to send you to the Vatican. You're being ambassador to the Vatican because we know that you're such a religious person. Demonic. Yes. All right. So that's interesting, right? So you take these things and you put them all together, guys. So over time, it starts to make sense. Australia's second most populous state to lock down after COVID spike. So it's like getting out of control again, right? It's like going crazy. So I've been talking about Australia for a while. And I'm careful to talk about Australia because if I do, then Australia bans my videos. So I have to like talk around all this stuff everywhere. Australia, yeah. Australia's banned some of my videos. That's crazy. You're hitting home when you're like, get Australia to ban your videos. Because people were telling me, I can't access your videos from Australia. And I'm like, I look here, I'm like, it's banned in Australia. Like, whoa, how can they do that? Well, I guess they can do it how they do it. And that's the way it works. So it will be the 5th time such restrictions have been imposed. So I've always said, watch US, watch Australia, because that's what's coming for us. So residents in Victoria's state capital, Melbourne, who last year endured one of the world's longest lockdowns, 112 days, when the city was Australia's pandemic epicenter. So how many people are sick? What, 2 or 3? I think that's what it is. New South Wales has NSW. So I know what that means. I don't know why. I guess I spent some time there and it kind of stuck. New South Wales has a total of 929 active cases after 65 more infections were confirmed Thursday. What about all those people with heart attacks? Shut down the country. People are having heart attacks in the hundreds. Or maybe they die of other diseases in far higher numbers. I believe they do. Victoria confirmed 7 new cases, taking the total to 18 active cases. So how many people they have there? Like 7 million? I don't know, somewhere around there. So 18 million or 18 active cases. So we know that, they ramped up this thing. I think it's all the way up to 40 or something. I think they can like dial in how much they want it to the little thingy that goes up your nose and test if you got this thing. As we know, there's fruit that can get, you know, COVID. Goats can get COVID because it's dialed up so high, you know. So any kind of anything is going to set it off. And so don't get tested. Don't get tested because you're going to come out confirmed. It's like, but I'm not sick. Well, you got it. Oh, that sucks. So that's a quarantine? Yeah, you have to quarantine. In fact, not only do you have to quarantine, but all 18 million other people have to quarantine as well. You guys, come on. Stop letting them do this to you. Stop letting them do this to you because they're going to continue as long as you let them. They're going to continue. So what do? You push back. Chaos in Melbourne. That's my Aussies. As furious protesters flood the city just hours before Victoria's crippling 5-day lockdown begins demanding Dan Andrews is sacked. Don't stop till he's gone. Don't stop till he's gone. Don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop till Andrews is gone. Sack that boy. Sack that boy. Good. All right. Hundreds of protesters. That's got to have thousands, tens of thousands. Got to have a lot, guys. Have swarmed into Melbourne CBD. Is that like drugs? Yeah, I don't know what CBD is, guys. Sorry. To protest against Victoria's looming lockdown. Premier Daniel Andrews on Thursday said Victoria had no choice as the state's COVID outbreak grew to 18. 18. Wow. One person per million, or however many people you got there. I don't know. Wow. Better lock it down. You guys, come on. Angry residents. Angry. Tired of being locked up. Shit has gone too far. Angry residents stormed the city. Stormed it. Like conquering what? Vikings? I don't know. Most of you guys are probably descended from Vikings. Demanding the premier be sacked and claiming the pandemic was not real. So I think you guys are. A lot of you guys are Vikings. Because when I was there, I was like, these are my peeps. Because I got a lot of Scandinavian in me and Scottish. And you know, Scottish, they're basically Vikings that kind of just went over there to the other side where, you know, things were nicer. All right. Hundreds of protesters have stormed Melbourne. And Premier Daniel Andrews on Thursday said Victoria had no choice. Got to cover all that. So here they are. Look at those angry people. Oh my God. Run for your lives. This is kind of the way it was not kind of. It's exactly the way it was. But there were like maybe over 1 million of us in January 6th in the Capitol, right? So peaceful demonstrations. And we had some, one of those false flag events that basically they knew they were going to do to label all those people as evil. And they got silly Millie General saying that I was so fearful of all those people. You should be fearful, silly Millie, if you ever come back out in public. Angry because you're going to be approached, if not by me, you're going to be approached by other big boys like me. They're going to ask you some questions in your face. Angry residents packed together as they chanted and held up signs, with some spouting claims the pandemic was not real. A real pandemic needs no advertisement. That's right. Wow, that's coercive. That's evil. Look at that. That's evil. One man carrying a sign suggested the pandemic was not real. Wore a shirt with a slogan urging Australians to avoid the COVID thingy. Jebberdo. Just say no, Aussies. You my peeps, come on. And all you other peeps all over the world, you LAians, stop this bullshit, man. Despite the wet weather, Victorians poured into Flinders Street. Man, I wish we could be hanging out with you guys. That looks like fun. Because I know you Aussies, when you get riled up, it's, whoa, that's a party. All right, so, keep it up. that's my suggestion. You got to push back. More people need to flood the streets. Everybody needs to get out and push on this everywhere. COVID-19 global updates. Protest hit Athens and Paris over new coronavirus restrictions, vaccine mandates. Protests flared in France and Greece on Wednesday as residents angry over coronavirus curbs and vaccine mandates in both countries marched against new, stricter regulations that they say discriminate against people unwilling to be inoculated. So I guess it's like 45% of people here in the US have supposedly got the jab or do. So that means 55% have it. I guess we're the majority. So we win. So we say no, and we're a democratic society, right? So if we say no, we're the majority, then it's no. No, don't push it. In Paris, demonstrators clashed with police after President Emmanuel Macaroni announced sweeping measures to fight the pandemic earlier this week. He mandated vaxxers for all healthcare workers and said new rules would require unvaccinated people to show negative coronavirus test before eating bars, restaurants, or other entertainment venues. Yeah. Oh, that little man, that nasty little man, he didn't win that election. We know who really won. I told you who won. Just because he's there, just like Joe Biden, doesn't mean he won. All right. Some silliness going on, right, guys? Nunes, come on, Nunes. Is John Durham ever going to like come out and do something? John Durham report is coming. It's coming. It's coming. It's not coming. It's coming. It's not coming. It's coming now. It's not coming. Some people will go to prison. Yeah. I believe when I see it. Because this guy's not spending any money. So if you're not spending any money, you're probably not doing anything. So come on, Nunes. Don't build this up, right? And I know we all want to see some stuff, right? Some stuff. I don't see anything here. I don't see anything here, right? That's why I bring this up. Now the other things like Nancy Pelosi and Joey B, gone bye-bye. So I do see that, all right? And I do see, unfortunately, Moez is bye-bye. So we'll see. Nunes is one of the few members of the Republican Party that still believe justice will be served. He laid out his reasons on the Sarah Carter show and said he hasn't given up faith in Durham's investigation, despite the enormous speculation that the Durham investigation will fail to deliver justice. I'm not seeing it. I don't see it, guys. Every time I've heard them build this guy up, I never, ever saw it. So I hope that I'm wrong. I hope this is another one of those things that, of the 5% of things that I get wrong now, out of 95% I get right, that, this might be the one. And you're like, ooh, well, you pronounce that name wrong. That's some silliness. Many supporters of Trump, including the former president himself, have already began questioning the legitimacy of the Durham's probe and whether or not any action will be taken by the special counsel in his investigation. So I don't know. I don't see it. You can talk it all you want. If he presents, that's great. But you got to be careful, Nunes, because the more you kind of like blow this up, the more you look like you're maybe not a good guy, right? Or maybe you're just like, creating some disinformation, which if you're working with the good guys doing that, that's acceptable. I'll take that. All right. Los Angeles County requiring masks indoors again for everyone starting Saturday night. LA now in substantial spread category. Oh, look out. This is an all hands on deck moment. Los Angeles County Public Health Officer. I bet Dr. Muntu Davis has never been in the military, but he uses a military term, and he probably hates the military. but he uses a military term, all hands on deck. Because if you're a good man, you would not be saying all hands on deck, because this is not what is needed here. What is needed here is for everybody to get rid of those friggin' masks. So you're a bad man, Dr. Muntu. Ay, ay, ay. Muntu. Is that correct? You little Muntu. So correct me on that one if I'm wrong. Silly little people out there that have to have everything out perfect. But I bet you're not pushing on these mask mandates, are you? You push on me for getting words right, but are you pushing on mask mandates? All right, Michael J 5326 is where my Rumble channel is. So I'm probably going to put this on Rumble because I've said a few words by mistake, and you know, it happens. So today, Mel K, Kathy O'Brien, and I talk MK Ultra Mind Control and 3-letter agencies. So you just go to Michael, M-I-C-H-A-E-L, J 5326 in Rumble, and then you're going to find my stuff. And there it is. All right, so I want you guys to look at this. Look, Kathy O'Brien is wearing a tank top. Mel K is wearing a tank top. And Michael Jacob is wearing a shirt, right? So I come wearing a shirt when I do, you know, interviews like that. I'm very respectful. But as some of you see, I have my tank top on because I just get through working out. And I'm going to go work out again after I get talking with you, because that's the way I am. I work out. And my business, some of my business is about having a great body and being in shape. And even Kathy O'Brien talked about how you should watch your diet. How about that? And Kathy O'Brien is actually older than me. She looks good for her age. She's 63. And Mel K, I don't know. She's like 20s. I don't know, maybe 30s. But you know, you guys, I had somebody in a chat saying it's very distracting when you wear your tank top. I was like, are you kidding me? It's Florida. It's hot. The room that I'm in is hot. I'll turn the AC up so I can be cooler with my tank top on. How about that? Oh my God. It's like nitpicky. Now I do like you guys correct me on, you know, the words that I use. If I get them wrong, I want to get them right. So I may be wrong, but I may be right. But if I'm wrong, I want to be right. That should be a song, right? So you Victorian era people that are probably excited when you see my, you know, muscular body, and you can't control yourself, but want me to control myself. But you're kind of like the Taliban that makes the women, you know, put on their burqas so that they don't get distracted. Yeah. So don't be Victorian era. That was not good. That was and you know, I don't know, maybe in your household there's some frustration going on there. So look, the ladies, tank tops, because it's hot, it's summer. Come on, relax. Don't be all tight. Don't be all tight. Got to stop that. So also on Telegram, I have my shows on Telegram. I tell you, I'm going to put them on Telegram. If they don't go there right after a show, it's because it's taking time to clean them, download them, and put them. I give them to other people. I give it to Mel K, so she can have it for her site, and Kathy O'Brien, right? So they're going to get there. Don't be so impatient. Is it up yet? Is it up yet? Is it up yet? Is it up yet? 3-year-old. Arizona election audit. I'm picking tonight, but it's fun picking. I'm not being mean, because we know when you're mean, you get the boomerang effect. So I don't want the boomerang effect. I'm just being cute. I'm being nice. It's been fun. All right. I don't want the boomerang. I don't, because you know when you talk shit about somebody, and then that happens to you, and that sucks, doesn't it? It's happening a lot these days. So I'm very cool. It's like, I don't want that boomerang stuff. You guys might be noticing some of that, right? It works the other way too. When you talk good about people, good stuff comes back at you. Arizona election audit hearing delivers bombshell after bombshell. How about that? Arizona State President Karen Fann called for an emergency meeting in the Maricopa County election. I might as well just say it because I'm gonna have to take this down, audit. The hearing began at 10 a.m. this morning and has included, but the entire video from the hearing is below. So this is 100%fedup.com. So if you want to go see this, so these guys are patriots. Good job. 100%fedup.com. Arizona Secretary of State Kim Bennett testified today about the Arizona audit of the 2020 election. He spoke about the difficulties his team is facing finding serial numbers to ensure duplicate ballots were only counted once. It's a bombshell moment. We found, I would have to say, thousands of duplicate ballots where those serial numbers are not on them. So it's created great difficulty to try to match up a duplicated ballot to its duplicate. Right? So that means there's a lot of ballots that are duplicated and they don't have corresponding numbers for them. That means they overcounted. If the corresponding numbers aren't on there, how would you know if it was duplicated once or 10 times? You wouldn't, he said. You wouldn't. After the hearing, there is no way anyone can say there wasn't election fraud in the 2020 election. There is too much evidence. The Arizona audit team was escorted out of the hearing room. These heroes have received death threats during the process of auditing votes from the 2020 election. The people in the room clapped. Thank you very much. You guys are true patriots. It's tough out there right now. But you see, everyone's pushing, guys. The people of Australia are pushing. The people of Paris are pushing. The people of LA are letting it happen to them because they're sheeple. Stop being a sheep. Even the sheep are going, hey, we're not that stupid. Please quit calling them sheep. We're not that stupid. But, when you put on the mask, like I said, there's no oxygen and critical thinking goes bye-bye. So it goes on to say there are severe problems with how the voter information was maintained. The system is not patched regularly. The last time an antivirus was updated on the systems was August 2019. This creates a tremendous vulnerability to the systems. Now, I just saw also that they bought more Dominion machines because they say that the people that were in charge of the audit were not certified. And so they had spent millions more. See, these people are thieves. They had to spend millions more to buy more machines. That basically effed up our election. I say take a jackhammer to all of them. Dominion has access to admin of the machines, but the county does not. So the Dominion machines, as we know, were controlled from several different places, from Spain. I think also there was Germany, where the CIA head was, and there was a firefight there getting that information, and she went down to the spa. Well, Gitmo, yeah, Guantanamo. So we're taking this down, so I might as well just say it, Guantanamo. And so, because she disappeared right after the election, she just went gone. She's gone, completely gone. And that's why, because she went to Guantanamo. Dominion has access to admin of the machines, but the county does not. How can the county know if the systems are eligible to record votes? They can't. The county officials do not have the ability to verify the functionality of the systems without Dominion. They are dependent on Dominion. Dominion is a system that was created by the CIA. 3,900 votes received from unregistered voters needed to be registered by 10/15 and weren't. Some ballots were out of calibration by 1,900%. The ballots were as far off center as more than 2,000%. This still needs to be reviewed and finalized. The paper stock was also out of compliance, meaning it wasn't the right paper stock that was used for the real ballots, leading to bleed through of ballots. The video of the Arizona's audit from the beginning of the envelope, there it is. Those attending were escorted out, like I said, under guard because of death threats, right? So we already know that Georgia also had some serious problems. Pennsylvania had some serious problems, on and on and on. All right. So King Idomeneus of Crete with Heracles, crew of the Argo, and at the Trojan War. Now, this was one of my lifetimes. This is the awakening of a warrior, past lives of the Navy SEAL remembered. All right, so I'm also going to do another volume of this, many more volumes. I have many lives, over 100. But I'm going to do another volume on this. What do you call that? Like, second version or something. I don't know. I can't remember. Somebody's going to correct me. Oh my God. So anyway, King Idomeneus. Am I pronouncing that right? Idomeneus. It's what it looks like, of Crete with Heracles. No, that's Heracles. No, there it says it's Hera, because it's pronounced in a couple different ways. And those Greeks probably pronounce it totally different. So I don't know. Crew of the Argo. So I have memories of all this. I was the king that fought in the Trojan War. I remember Achilles. I remember fighting with Achilles. Achilles would be in a future life Alexander the Great. So when Alexander the Great basically started to conquer Persia, he stopped there. Because I remember that too, because I was his lead cavalry in that lifetime. So I support him in many lifetimes. He was my son in a lifetime, and actually a couple of different lifetimes. So we have lots of many lifetimes. We work together a lot. He's part of my soul group, right? So he and I fought in the Trojan War. So remember how he was killed. He was hit by an arrow in his Achilles heel, right? In that soft area, because that was one area where there was no armor. And who's the guy, the Trojan guy, the prince, shot the arrow at him. I can't think of his name. Somebody correct me. Where is it? Some guys remember that guy's name. So somebody who shot the arrow, who's going to get rewarded? Who am I going to say? It's gonna pop. I can feel it. Who shot the arrow at Achilles and hit him in the Achilles heel? All right, nobody yet. Cupid? No, not Cupid. Brad Pitt. That's right, Brad Pitt. He was Achilles. Good job. Cupid. No, Cupid shot arrows, yes, but it wasn't Cupid that hit him with the arrows. He was poisoned. Who is that? Michael S. You are so good. That's right. So that's what I wanted to bring up right there. It was a poison arrow, and I talk about that. Maybe you've read my book. I talk about that in this book. I said, yeah, he was shot in the Achilles heel, but that wouldn't kill him. It would kill you if I shot you. If I cut that thing, you wouldn't be able to walk. Joe Biden did it. That's right. Hector or Paris. So it was Paris. Very good. Paris. Merlin's Menace. Very good. Merlin's Menace and Candy Girl 777. Hector or Paris. All right. So you got a half right. So it was Paris. Very good. Very good. So that's fun, right? It's fun to have these past life memories, and you get to look at this stuff. So how did this all come up? So you guys were giving me, several of you were giving me shit, not shit, you're trying to correct me, and I'm good with that, on pronunciation. And so I looked up, stuff on the pronunciation. Let's see if I can find it. Here it is. So I wanted to find out about Plutarch. And so this one guy who is very Konstantinos Papadopoulos. What a name, my God. He must be a Greek god. And so basically, he is a native Greek and hobbyist in linguistics and history. So he knows, he's got a master's degree in ancient Greek. University of Bergen. Ooh, boy, smart guy. Author has 114. Right, so good job, guy. And Konstantinos. So I was looking through his stuff because I want to know, guy like me has to know. So he talks about grammar and vocabulary, and it's very, very, very interesting. So he has these Greek words in here. You see those Greek words? So there's Greek words like that have different pronunciation for, for words and letters. So anyway, I'm just saying, probably not the way you guys are saying it is back in that time frame, but it is the way it is now. So it is what it is. So anyway, he goes on, he talks about, all these root meanings, and he says in here, but ancient Greeks were making new words in a transcendental fashion too. Toxic comes from the word meaning bow. How about that? So it's kind of cool when you make, and that is because the arrows were dipped in poison. I never saw that before, but when I did the past life review, and I asked a lot of questions, and then I thought about it, I was like, this is the way this happened. And then I wrote about it in my book. So The Waking of a Warrior. If you go to that chapter, you get to read all that stuff. It's pretty cool. So, and it's on Amazon. You can actually buy the book. Yes. And there's like a video that goes with it. Oh, it's fun. Anyway, you make these connections when you do your past life reviews and stuff like that. A lot of this stuff will start to come up and it'll start to make connections. So I did that lifetime long ago. And I wrote that book a while back, 5 years or so ago, maybe 6, maybe longer. And I remember writing that going, who's going to believe this? Well, that just kind of tied it in, didn't it? Just kind of tied it in. That's interesting, right? Andrew Cuomo to be questioned in state sexual harassment probe. So I've said that he was going to go bye-bye. And it looks like it's his time is coming, if he hasn't already. So a lot of these cases are going to come up later, right? Just like Nancy's probably going to go to, I'm checking out, I'm going to be an ambassador at the Vatican. No, you're not. You're already dead. Or no, I don't think she's dead. When I look at her, I still see her alive. And she's talking deep staters. Gets her in trouble. Outside lawyers hired by State Attorney General Letitia James plan to interview Cuomo in Albany on Saturday, the source said. The move may be a sign that the 4-month investigation is entering its final stages. So then what? Are you gonna like put him in prison, or is it gonna be like a Hillary Clinton thing? You're gonna have James Comey pop up? Well, James is gone too, so he can't pop up. Huh? Who's gonna pop up and defend that? Because we know the judicial system is completely corrupted. It's gonna have to be completely replaced. And a lot of that replacement actually is through our consciousness. Hold on a second, I can plug in my computer, it's about to go out. All right, so we know that consciousness, like for me, I can look at stuff and go, that's malarkey. And I can look at people and go, you're dead. You're not around anymore. Or you're talking, whoever that is playing you, or whoever, whatever that clone is, or whatever that's going on here. It's just, it's like a movie. It's like a movie. So it says James is on track, however, to issue a report on the findings by the end of the summer. A person familiar with the probe told the Times. So by then, they'll probably have everybody locked down again. So it won't matter. And they'll be like, Cuomo, help us. The last 5 people that are still in New York that are good people, the rest of them are gangs. I don't care. All right. So this was Kathy O'Brien's book. She talked about it in our show, Transformation of America. And she talks about, you know, the way the neurons work, and a lot of stuff that I talk about. She talked about love and how she overcame unbelievable stuff, guys. I mean, if you think you have some problems in your life, read her stuff. So it says, August 3rd, 1977, the 95th U.S. Congress opened hearings into the reported abuses concerning the CIA's top secret mind control research program, codenamed MK Ultra. And that's a K control, which is a German word. So we know that the Nazis came over Operation Paperclip and just came over with all their doctors and basically invaded the US and started all these programs. On February 8th, 1988, a top-level MK Ultra victim, Kathy O'Brien, was covertly rescued from her mind control enslavement by intelligence insider Mark Phillips. All right. So we talked about that today. We talked for an hour and we just barely touched the surface, guys. This woman has so much information, and so many people have been involved. She talked about the Clintons and the Bushes. A lot of people have been involved in this stuff for a long time. She basically warned about this situation that we're in right now back in 1995. So she's known, and she said she knew because they were planning it all the way back then. So she talks about how you can heal PTSD and overcome mind control, which a lot of people need to overcome right now. So it's very, very frustrating. We talk about that. I talk about how the press is basically MK Ultra on steroids right now, really impacting consciousness right now. So we have to learn how to overcome that. And it takes a lot of effort. It really does. It's not just me saying, hey, the press is MK mind controlling you. And you're like, click. What? Never mind. So the order issued Wednesday. This is the first military base. So look at these two jokers. Boy. Oh my God. Popeye and I don't know who is that, Brutus? Popeye and where's Olive Oil? Fort Rucker, and that's Navy. But these guys are Army. What's going on? These guys are knuckleheads. Alabama. It is illegal for businesses or organizations to require proof of COVID-19 vaccinations. The anti-vaccine passport stance is one that is spreading around the country, at least in red states that still believe in individual liberty and personal responsibility. Unfortunately for troops at Fort Rucker in Alabama, they fall under federal jurisdiction. So these two clown towns, Army clowns, are basically mandating that everybody in Fort Rucker has to get vaccinated. So it says the order issued Wednesday makes Fort Rucker the first military base in the continental U.S. to permit leaders to check the vaccination status of those in uniform. General David Francis said in a video that due to the rising rates in the counties around us, and some on Fort Rucker, leaders were implementing the guidance. If you are not wearing a mask, the leadership will be able to ask soldiers around you. Sounds like Nazi days, right? To prove that they've been vaccinated by, where is your vaccine card? Francis said, the order does not apply to civilians who must be taken at their word unless the supervisor has good reason not to. So this is a constitutional assault right here. So both of these clown towns need to be hauled away and hung. I mean, need to be hauled away and for treason charges brought up against them against the Constitution of the United States, which they're sworn to defend. But they're absolutely not doing that. So that's treason, right? And they're the ones that are the cutting edge for that. It's very disturbing. As we reported pretty much every day for weeks, and I would confront these two gentlemen myself, being now a civilian, neither these vaccines nor the face mask mandates are necessary, nor particularly effective against a disease with such a high recovery rate for healthy people under the age of 50. Considering the US military is comprised mostly of people who fall under that category, this order makes very little sense other than as a form of virtue signaling to the community. So will this catch on? Will other bases start to do this? Is this, well, because we know that they're basically trying to destroy the military. That's what this government's about. Because the military is the real military. The good guys in the military are the last thing that's keeping this deep state from taking over the world. Last thing, right? It's the last thing. All right, between critical race theory and COVID virtue signaling, our military is being weakened by those who put their career projects over the sworn duty to defend the Constitution of the nation. Very good article, very good article. Who wrote that? J.D. Rucker. Good job, sir. Or ma'am, I don't know. Could be Juliana, I don't know. Jules, who knows? Maricopa County approves millions to obtain new election equipment from Dominion. So remember I was talking about this? Millions. Approves millions to go into a system that's now been proven across the country to be corrupt. So they're taking more of the taxpayer money and dumping it into this because the deep state is desperate. They need money however they can get it right now, guys. They're trying to fill the coffers back up and it ain't going to happen. So the contract now totals $9 million, an additional $2.9 million to the contract with Dominion Voting Systems. The board, composed of 4 rhinos and 1 Democrat, agreed at a meeting to allocate an additional $2.9 million. So stealing more money from the US taxpayers there in Arizona. So Arizonans, I would protest that. I would protest if I was an Arizonan again, because I lived in Sedona for a while, back when it was good. I would be out there protesting. George Floyd mural struck by lightning crumbles to the ground. So as you see here, this mural became hammered by lightning, and it was proven. They came in and did investigation, said, "Yep, that was lightning." So when I did a show yesterday with Janine, and we talked a lot about past lifetimes and both of us were like, "Wow!" We were like, "All right, that was amazing." we're like smoked, because you get smoked when you like have these revelations, guys. It's pretty wild. So so I asked her at the end of the show, pretty much, I said, "Oh yeah, I've been wanting to ask you about this. That mural, was that, an act of God or something else?" So she, did the card thing, asked the creator to come through, and basically she got that it was the ET Space Brothers that basically are on her side. They sent a message with that little lightning strike. All right. This stuff is really cool. It's a cool time to be alive. I like it. And then we have the last thing I'm going to talk about is that FBI, which is totally corrupt and needs to be completely disbanded and reestablished, along with the CIA, tells Americans to report family members and peers and tweet, and it gets blowback. So that's what we got to do, guys. When these guys do stupid, we got to come down on them and say, "No, stupid. No more stupid. It's enough of that." Because that one little comment that Silly Millie talked about, how we got guns. There's a lot of us have guns. They're Silly Millie. And a lot of boys that are still there have guns that don't like you as well. So anyway, Silly Millie is probably scrubbing the decks on his knees with a hand brush there in Gitmo. That's what I think. They got him scrubbing the decks. That's what he gets for his nastiness, his nasty comments. Wouldn't that be cool if that was true? Wouldn't you love to see a video of that? I certainly would. I'd get a nice laugh out of that. And it's like, he's safe there. If he comes out again, I'm going to confront him. All right, guys. That's all I got. Well, I think that was a long show. So, as usual, I love you guys very much. Let's see what you guys got to say. Willie Hell. Do I still have a channel? I don't know. Yes, Unleashing Intuition. Thank you, CB's daughters. Unleashing Intuition, my lovely moderator. I get great moderators in here. They do an amazing job. Michael J 5326. That's where this will be. I will delete this immediately because it's got some stuff in it. I just decided to go off, and I like to keep them up on YouTube because a lot of people get to see them, but we gotta look out so we can continue to keep these channels. But I appreciate you guys giving it the thumbs up, because I look at that. I look at the numbers. We're getting really nice numbers because I got a lot of subscribers again. It's like over 77,000. We're making, I don't know if we're going to make it back over 100. The way I keep doing these shows, have to be very careful. So now what they're going to do is they're going to start to come after anyone that is looking like they're maybe a threat. Maybe you're at that January 6th thing and you're one of those people. And so they're going to look through your stuff and see if there's any indication of that, and then probably start taking down some channels. So we'll see. So I have the Rumble channel. I have a BitChute channel. So when I do a show here, it goes instantly to BitChute. I haven't been cleaning them. They just go over there, just dump over there. So they're also on my BitChute. All that information is down in the description box. I restarted a Twitter account. So I also put stuff on my Twitter, my new Twitter account. And that's all I was doing before. And they took my whole Twitter down. I was like, pfft. Same time that he took down everybody else. So I just laid low for a while, and now I snuck back in. So we'll see how long that lasts. But it seems like Instagram, and most of the time Rumble sometimes won't let me put stuff in there, guys. I've told you that. So but if it's not in Rumble, don't get your panties in a wad. Go to Instagram. All right, always going to end up at Instagram. And if you don't have an Instagram account, you need to have one, because if the lights go out, I've heard that Instagram is one of the only ones. Wow, that's interesting. My light just went out over there right when I said that. How about that? So if the lights go out like that, then you're going to want Rumble, because I think Telegram is the one that we'll still be able to communicate on if everything else goes down. So word to the wise, word to the informed. All right, guys, love you. And I will be back, of course, again, probably, well, definitely tomorrow. I got the time. I can do it. I got the time. I can do it. And but I'm going to go work out again. It's like 9 o'clock. I'm going to work out again. Ugh. Get myself ramped up, and then I'll be like in bed going, workout. Nah, it'll be good. I'll crush myself, and then I'll come back and go, it'll be good. All right. Lots of love out there. You beautiful people. Stay beautiful, stay loving. Don't get your panties in a wad. You see something that doesn't quite fit. If I say something that doesn't quite fit, if I get something wrong, just be the observer. We're not always perfect and right. All right. And you guys that are, don't like my muscles, it's too bad. All right. Lots of love. I'll see you next time.